My name is Julie Bierbauer, and I want to thank you all for coming. Today I want to talk to you about child abuse in America. Gabriel Fernandez, Zachary Dominguez, Kelsey Briggs, Piper Malinsky, Quentin Yates, Christian Jackson. Unfamiliar names, but they all have one thing in common. They were all murdered by their parents. Child abuse continues to prosper in America, but you can be part of the solution. If you perform one act to stop abuse, you can change your life forever. As a foster adopted parent, mother, nurse, and victim of childhood abuse myself, I have a first-hand understanding and have witnessed the effects of abuse and neglect. Child abuse is a widespread problem in America that often results in the death of a child and lifelong effects to the survivors of abuse. God calls us to protect children and stop this epidemic by each of us doing our part to prevent child abuse. I will provide statistics that show how prevalent the problem is, how abuse prospers because people do not get involved, and I'll give a solution based on God's view of children and our responsibility to protect them. Child abuse is a widespread problem with devastating effects. According to the Tennyson Center for Children at Colorado Christian Home, every 10 seconds a case of child abuse is reported, resulting in more than 5 deaths daily. About 80% of those fatalities are children under 4 years of age. 30% of victims will grow up to abuse their own children, and 80% of abuse victims will have psychological problems as adults. Child abuse is prevalent in every social, ethnic, economic, educational, and religious level. 14% of men and 36% of women in prison were victims of child abuse. Now that you're aware of how widespread child abuse is, this brings me to my second point. Child abuse can be prevented if every adult would get involved in some way to stop the suffering of these children. Americans need to be educated about child abuse and the steps they can take to recognize and prevent child abuse. Prevent Child Abuse America offers some tips we can all practice in our daily lives. Befriend children and parents in your neighborhood. Offer support to struggling parents. Pay attention to the families in your neighborhood. Look at behaviors and attitudes towards one another. There's numerous ways you can help. You can donate your used clothing and furniture and other items to places like the Salvation Army, Boys and Girls Clubs, and that to help other people. Let them get use out of it. Volunteer your time. Become a foster parent. Be a voice to advocate for policies and programs that are beneficial to children and families. The average American spends $2 a day for a cup of coffee, but we spend 32 cents a day to help abused children. There's something wrong with that. Find a program and donate money. Donate your time. Whatever you can do, do it. Every Christian has been charged by God to love and protect children and each other. If every Christian would honor his command to love and protect one another, child abuse in America could become a horror of the past and not a practice of the present. In Matthew 18:10, Jesus tells us, "Do not despise one of these little ones, for I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven." Mark 19:37, again, Jesus is speaking. "Whoever welcomes one of these little children in my name welcomes me." John 15:12. "This is my command to you, love each other." We can clearly see that child abuse is thriving in the United States. Every minute we fail to act means 6 more children will suffer abuse. Abuse takes many forms: emotional, physical, sexual, and neglect. Abuse doesn't just occur after a child is born. Research has shown that drug and alcohol use during pregnancy affects the brain, the developing brain of a fetus, and can have lifelong adverse effects for that child. Let us educate, advocate, and encourage one another to love others as Christ loves us. If we begin to practice God's love, we can change America for the better. We are charged by God to act. Give of yourself in whatever way you can. I encourage you to keep child abuse visible to the public and do your part to advocate for change. When we act to protect the child, we glorify God and shine His light on this dark evil. I have listed some of the programs and agencies you can contact to volunteer your services or money in your handout. I strongly encourage you to make contact and be part of the solution. Thank you.